Go support the award-winning film out of Toledo, Ohio that caught the attention of Blumhouse's Fantasy Island star Lucy Hale, A Story Worth Living. It has become a major hit on the film festival circuit, taking home numerous awards, including Best Woman Filmmaker Vanessa Leonard. You've seen her in some of my photos, including this photo featured on IMDb. Now go give A Story Worth Living a like on Facebook and Instagram. The main reason I wanted to watch this movie was because of the concept. A horror movie version of Fantasy Island produced by Blumhouse, who has been on a roll lately with horror movies? You have my interest. Fantasy Island was a show created by Gene Levitt in 1977, with Aaron Spelling and Leonard Goldberg serving as producers. The producing duo were on a roll, having a hand in hit TV series such as Charlie's Angels, SWAT, Starsky and Hutch, and TJ Hooker. Fantasy Island's premise was simple. You go to the island to live out your innermost desires, but it has a monkey paw twist to it, and you must live out your fantasy to its completion. The show would later be rebooted in 1998 with Malcolm McDowell taking over the role of Mr. Rourke. While the show wasn't horror in nature, as a premise it would make a great idea for a horror movie. Give this to someone like Jordan Peele, Ari Aster, or the Safdie brothers, and this could be awesome! So, who is writing and directing this? Wait, the creative team behind Blumhouse's Truth or Dare? One of the most unintentionally hilarious horror movies ever made? Fun fact, I actually picked up Blumhouse's Truth or Dare for $1.99 at Family Video because that movie cracked my shit up. I can't wait to see how they make Fantasy Island unintentionally hilarious. Blumhouse's Fantasy Island sees a group of people come to the island for different reasons. One wants to torture her high school bully. One wants a family she never had. One wants to be in the army because his father died. Two brothers want to be famous, but they all come with monkey paw conditions. In the act of fairness, maybe it's because I watched the unrated version, but this is a more competently made film than Blumhouse's Truth or Dare. But while watching this, the one word that kept popping in my mind was generic. It's a modern day Fantasy Island, alright. The problem I have with Blumhouse's Fantasy Island is that it just feels like every other run-of-the-mill modern horror movie when you could do so much more with this premise. It's another one of those films that just exists. So let's talk about Mr. Rourke, who was portrayed brilliantly by the late great Ricardo Montalban. Mr. Rourke had an air of mystery to him. He was charming and charismatic. Personally, I think it's great that they honored the legacy of Montalban by casting a Hispanic actor in the role. However, Michael Pena is the last person I'd cast for this role. This is a role that needs a Javier Bardem, a Demian Bashir, or a Benicio del Toro. Someone who could bring that air of mystery out. For some reason, Michael Pena is acting like a more serious version of Luis from Ant-Man. I never got the sense that he was Mr. Rourke. Then there are the two lead characters who serve as the catalyst of the film. Melanie, played by Lucy Hale, and Sloane, played by Portia Doubleday. The main problem with these two characters is that these two should switch roles because I got more of a popular girl vibe from Lucy Hale than I did Portia Doubleday. One of my main pet peeves is when they cast a supermodel gorgeous woman and say she was bullied in high school. Ew, you're so ugly. Just kill yourself already. So after these two find out the true intentions of the island, they look for a way to get off with the help of Michael Rooker in a hilariously bad wig. Then you have brothers JD and Brax, these two obnoxious frat boy stereotypes who are so one-dimensional it hurts. Just because you make one of them gay doesn't mean that he can still be fucking annoying. I actually rooted for these guys to get gunned down by a militia group. I'm just avoiding the inevitable. Much like the Babysitter Killer Queen, I gotta skip to the star rating and go full spoiler because this movie's ending fucking sucks. I'm going to give Blumhouse's Fantasy Island a 1 out of 5. Spoilers in 3, 2, 1. You've been warned. The third act plot twist fucking blows. So our heroine Melanie turns out to be the real villain of the film because her date Nick was burned alive in a fire. Each main character was connected in a way to a random guy named Nick. Maggie Q's Gwen realizes that turning down a wedding proposal wasn't her biggest regret, but not saving Nick from a fire that she caused. Patrick, the guy who wanted to be in the army, was a police officer who didn't take Gwen seriously. The brothers were random residents in Gwen's apartment complex, so this was all Melanie's fantasy. This twist was so poorly executed it hurt. It comes out of nowhere and derails the film. It was just put there to have a plot twist. Plot twists for the sake of plot twists aren't clever. Ahem, mid-2000s M. Night Shyamalan. Even then, I'm sure Lucy Hale is a nice person, especially given she watched Vanessa's movie A Story Worth Living. Seriously, go like that page. But she is not selling the role of the villain. She stands there and gives a villain monologue in the most monotone voice ever.
When I first met Nick, it was like I had known him for years. We ended up talking the entire night, and I wasn't worried about saying something stupid.
What's worse is that it's kind of insulting that Melanie's motivations were over a man. Haven't we outgrown this cliche already? But because we need to shoehorn in another Fantasy Island character, Brax wishes for his brother JD to come back, but the monkey's paw twist is that he must remain on the island for the rest of his life. That's right. He becomes Tattoo. Just skip this one and watch the original series. Blumhouse's Fantasy Island is the prime example of a wasted opportunity. At least I remember the stupidity of Blumhouse's Truth or Dare. I completely forgot I watched Blumhouse's Fantasy Island until I realized Rebecca 2020 wasn't going to fit Halloweek. Be sure to like, comment, share, spread the word of New Realms Media. Follow me on all my socials at New Realms Media, and until then, I'll see you next time.